back to another update on the Apocalypse build. Things are really starting to come together now. We've got lots of colour down, but there's loads of tasks still going on. Now, these buildings are looking pretty epic now as they are, but Jono's currently working on something that's going to make them even more epic, and we'll come to that in a minute. Down at the back of the room here, Warren's working on some sandbags. Mick, one of our community members, was so good at making sandbags, he even took Das home with him and made even more sandbags. So now we're doing some stuff to them, right? So when Mick took them home, last time you've seen them, they were on these little things that we're calling biscuits. Alright, so what we've done is we've actually peeled them all off. We've scraped them all off. So now they're little individual bits. Reason being, if you come back around here, I'm going to show you. Reason being, that meant we could just set them down anywhere on the table. Bam! Done! And we weren't worrying about trying to blend in any sort of particular texture on the base, because we were talking about maybe putting wallpaper and stuff down on those. But this is so easy. Poof! Down we go. Like that. Perfect. So we've got a few options. These ones have been painted and we'll come to that now in a minute. Right, so that gives us lots of cool scatter. We've also dug out some other cool scatter. Warren, any idea where this has come from, mate?
I don't know.
Is this a resin stuff that we've got here? Yeah, so we've got this really cool resin terrain that's in the office. And Warren was coming past this morning, he was like, "Oh, here's a bag of stuff. Do you think that'll work?" And I was like, "Only one way to find out." He slapped it down. Look at that. Look how well that blends in. That's almost perfect. It looks like it's been made specifically for this table. So that's great. And we'll probably just wash that with a little bit of dark tone just to tie it into the colour of the actual base. But because we've built our sandbags this way, it means if we're changing to any other table, we can just slap it down. Like, there's a grass table up here. Come on up here real quick. Bang. Job done. Perfect. Look at that. And we don't have to worry about the bases making them look out of place. So let's go back down and find out what's been going on. So, they've come in on these. Alright. Now, if we were going to do this again, we'd probably be smart and use something like
Greaseproof paper.
Greaseproof paper would be the job. So we'd probably just put our tray down, fill it up with greaseproof paper, build the sandbags on top of it, and then lift them off. This we've had to use a scraper, and that's not been easy on the hands, has it, Warren?
No.
Oh! Well, you know.
Super glue to the rescue.
Super glue
to the rescue.
Right, so when they come off, which ones are not done here, Warren? Any of these?
No, they're not done yet.
Right, so when they've got peeled off, there's a bit of flex to them and some of the sandbags might fall off. So what Warren's doing now is he's going through all of this and he's using a combination of super glue and bicarbonate of soda.
See, the secret here is how you get your lines of bicarbonate of soda on. Yeah. I don't have much experience of this, so it's all about getting it all stacked up properly. So you can get it with your fingers and then put it on like that, and then I give it a wee run like that.
Yeah.
Then in with some super glue.
Oh, here you go. There you go.
There we go. And the super glue itself, just kind of, if you just do a thin line of it all the way around like that. See the way the super glue just kind of capillaries through it all? Like that?
Yeah, that's cool.
And then just let that capillary for a wee minute, come in close. And then once again you get a wee line of it made up there so that you can lift it and then just sprinkle it on. Just like so.
And that's going to give us a nice firm base that's holding it all together. And then if we find any sandbags that have come loose, you can just do that in amongst the gaps and stuff as well.
Yes, you can. You can. But like that already, you know, it would take Jeff Capes to break that.
Yeah.
So.
And then there's the likes of the bases and stuff here. I'll go and grab one that's done. So we're going to, just stay there, we're going to be spraying this one shortly.
Be careful, because bicarb and super glue, when it gets on your skin, is quite hot.
It'll burn you. It'll burn you. Usually it's okay with super glue and bicarbonate on its own, but if you're using super glue with like sponges and tissues and stuff, there is a chemical reaction. Right, so Mick's also built some excellent bunkers. Look at these bad boys. Oh my goodness, right? But again, they were on these sort of big bases like this, so they came in like that, and we've decided we're going to clip them down. So this one's in the process of being clipped down, and this one's been done. So what we did then is we went around the edge with the super glue and did the bicarb again.
Yeah.
Right, so that was pretty easy. Can I just interrupt you here for a sec, please, Warren?
You interrupt away, Lloyd.
I mean, I'm going to come over here. Come on over here. So if I get a line of this, the easy way to do this, I'll just do it. Oh, let me borrow your super glue in a sec.
Get yourself a fresh one there, Lloyd.
Is this good?
This one's nearly done.
This one. There we go. Right, so cut down the edges. So what we've done is we've used a combination of this tool here, and then just razor saw, and then just gone around and clipped it, right? But it'll give you like, in fact, I'll do a bit. So here we have it here. So it's just a matter of, you getting this?
Let me just get out of the line of fire.
Going around it and clipping it in. But you're trying to be haphazard about it. Okay? Now you can see that you get this sort of fluffy edge. So that's why I'm going around and putting the bicarbonate super glue on it. But I'll not do it on that. So imagine I've just done it on this edge. Just run it along here. And because I sorted out a line of it, let me just sort out a line of it here, please. And then you can just do that. And that way your skin's not actually touching the bicarb. You're pushing the bicarb on it, which is reacting, and then you're still behind a layer of it. You know, so just watch out for it. Generally it's alright, but there is a chemical reaction that creates heat, so if you've got like a big lump of super glue on it, don't stick your hand in bicarb, otherwise it's going to get super hot on your finger and you could get a burn. Right, that takes us to painting. Right, so over here we've been spraying them. So we've got, where are you at? We've got a combination. So we've been trying to do a combination of sprays to give this a bit of pre-shading. So we've been using some leather brown. So we've got leather brown at the bottom. We've got like some desert yellow, scaly bone, necrotic flesh. I know it sounds like overkill, but all the little different shades add a little bit of realism to it. It may still get a wash or may not. I don't really know. So I'll pop that one down over here. Now these other ones, back over here, have had a wash. So we may just put them down, we may wash them. I quite like the wash ones. This was sprayed slightly differently. I think we'll go with this method. Anyway, so let's have a go on this bunker. Normally you'd spray outdoors, but I'm trying to film. Give it a good coat. Now you can spray this underneath, but I'm going to come back over and give it a highlight. The reason I'm spraying this one from the top, like these ones for example, we just pretty much sprayed that direction of the leather brown and then did the other colours. But because this actually has some wood panels, some sort of wood structure to it, I'm going to spray the whole thing with leather brown. The other things obviously don't have internal structures. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. Well, I'm just going to kind of hold it to make sure that we get underneath. Otherwise, all the shade and all the dark shading is going to be on the top.
Careful, rather zoomed in there,
rather than on the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, so turn it over. Job done. Next color. We're going to move on to desert yellow. Another army painter color. Let me just pop that down. Right, so now I'm just spraying down, but not a too shallow angle. I want to keep this coming down this way so all the shading down the bottom stays underneath the sandbags. So pretty much 45, maybe a little higher. And that's it. Now I wonder if I will bother with the inside, because the problem with the inside is I'd have to, I could maybe just
in shadow.
Maybe just give it a quick dust. There we go. That's looking pretty good. So now if I tilt it back, you've got all the shadows, and on the top you've got the highlights. Now I'm going to give it 2 more colors. You could probably just skip it and go to 1 color, but that's what we've done on these, so I'm just going to do that. I'm going to give it a wee dust of scaly bone, nothing too major. That's it. It's looking pretty sweet. And then I find I quite like the necrotic flesh as well, which I have a tin of somewhere. Yeah! Find it! Let's get a good old shake. Get it ready for action. Right, now this one, I'm pretty much going to just come directly down. Right on top. Check it out. And look pretty nice. If I put it up here. You see that? Oh no, let me tilt it back. I think you'll see it better like this. There you go. Look at that. Okay. And that's it. That's the sandbags. We'll leave it at that. I'll probably maybe run some, I don't know, I'll probably just put some wash in that. So it's going to get some wash and stuff, and then washing will be another step, and we can come back to them at some point when we've done it. We'll have to paint in the little bits of wood. See these? Yeah, I'll have to paint all that back in. But it's job done. 2 more buildings, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's the same building. Nope. Right, so what John's doing at the minute is he's taking our nice buildings like this, which looks super cool, but he's taking them to the next level because he's actually going, I better make sure I'm not touching anything wet, he's going back through and doing all the burn marks on it using, what is it, just a black?
It's a 2 paint mix. It's
Yeah.
two airbrush paints, both transparent. It's a black and a very dark brown, or a very muddy, darky brown.
Yeah.
That's just to give us like this big soot effect that we're going for, because it breaks up the outlines a bit more. It stops things looking so clean, because even with the shading and stuff we've done, everything still looked rather clean.
Check those out. How cool is that? That really does just take it to the next level, John.
It goes from looking like a building that has been very carefully demolished and makes it look like it's actually been on fire at some point.
Yeah. Right, let's not get in your way.
Yep.
What do you do? Go on around there and see if you can get the close-up action.
Alright. the up close.
Close-up action.
So this is simple because the paint is so thin.
Yeah.
It's literally just
Trying to pick out any edges where you think like a blast has gone through and it's burned it.
Yep.
And the really cool thing about this, John, is it's going to really break up the uniformity of the buildings and things.
Yep.
Warren, you think that too, don't you, mate?
Yes.
So if you want to come on over here, that's John who's doing it. That's pretty much the entire technique. Just spray it, but be nice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But you can go over the top if you want as well, because the paint's transparent. One layer of it will just stain a little.
All right.
So the heavier you go, the more of that carbon sort of burn you get.
And
So-
I asked John to go quite heavy to give it that cartoon burn look to really make it
So,
stand out.
You're emphasizing it, right?
Yeah.
So rather than trying to go all strong on the first layer, put down your first layer, let it dry, and then come back and then boost it, rather than trying to force
Or-
it all on at the same time.
Yeah, but you can just go straight in and go, this bit I want to be nearly black, and just
Yeah.
hit it a bit harder.
I would assume though, if you go harder, you run the risk of maybe I'm being stupid here, drips or anything if you go really too super hard. So building layers. Right,
Yeah.
come on over here, Warren. Look,
Yes.
show off the building, right? This is a great example. If you just stay about there, that's a great example because this side doesn't have any burn marks and this side doesn't. Look how interesting that has created.
Yeah.
Like an interesting texture on that building. And by the time that's gone over everything,
That will break up the uniformity right across the board, which is important now because the buildings are quite uniform looking in many respects.
yeah.
So although we were able to break up the shapes and stuff like that, and then we were able to use the shading to give them a sense of depth, it's this destruction and burn marks that'll ultimately give it its kind of outlines of things to change it all up.
Yeah, so let's try and put this down beside something. So if I just move these pipes, and I move this, we'll just plot this right down in the middle of these two buildings. Right, so come on round and get a wide shot of these beside each other. So you can really see when that's dropped in the middle, the difference it makes.
Yeah.
The difference is going to be epic.
I think so. I think it's going to be really good. Really, really good.
Right, we'll leave it there, and we'll come back in a bit. Jono's making a racket. Warren's gluing himself and stabbing himself. Justin's on camera, man. He's doing floors and stuff, which we'll come to in a little later in the vlog. But I wanted to get some footage down before we went ahead and completed all the sandbags. See you again in a bit. Oh my goodness, it's crunch time here at OTT. The weekend's come and gone, and we're still building our epic apocalypse table. Warren,
The epic table. How are you?
are you looking good?
No. No, I'm struggling now. Really struggling now.
Yeah.
But we're getting
Just
there.
before you go, are we showing that or not showing that?
We're not showing
Alright,
that
there's
yet.
a secret that I don't
Yeah.
want you to see. Don't aim the camera that way. So Jono's been busy, like he's got all of this stuff sprayed.
Yes.
And the place looks like a bomb site because we're in crunch mode.
Yes.
This
I'm
is
actually really pleased with how it's coming together now. So
What is it? It's Tuesday now.
Yes.
It's Tuesday today, and we need to be ready for the weekend. Realistically, we need to be done with Thursday.
Thursday afternoon we need to be finished.
This is we're ready for Friday. So it is crunch time. Right, let's go over and see what the guys are up to. So come on over this way. Now, quite a few times, can you go and hide that thing because we're coming back that way, if possible. Quite a few times now we've talked about the floors. We haven't gone into a huge amount of detail on them. So all the buildings have floors. So come on over this way. Justin.
Yes.
Mate, you're doing the last floor segment as we speak for this building.
I am. This one is reasonably easy.
Yeah.
Because it's a small building and I can just trace it out.
Do we want to give people a little bit of background then as to what this is? This is just 2mm card that I bought from a stationery shop.
Yeah, and if you flip it over, we've got the stone effect texture on there that we've just used spray
Alright.
adhesive.
So you basically take the wallpaper, slap it down, you've been using spray adhesive.
Yeah,
Right,
and then
so
what I do is
Yeah.
I trim the edges so that you've got this nice clean edge here.
Yeah?
Same here, same the other end, same the other end. Because what can happen is, if you leave your overhangs on here,
Yeah?
sometimes I've actually cut the floors a couple of times where I've cut it and it's missing a strip. So I did learn that through this process.
I don't understand what he said. I'm sure it makes sense.
The cardboard itself is broader
Yes.
than the roll of wallpaper, so you're always left with a blank bit.
Oh, I see. I know exactly what he means. So it
you
means
end
when
up
he
with
turns it over, he doesn't suddenly
blank
run out
strip.
of texture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
big
it.
blank
I've
bit.
done that a couple of times.
Right, I see. So you turned it over, you
Yeah.
didn't realise there was no texture there, you put your building down, turned it back and went, ah, bollocks.
Yeah,
Well, actually,
pretty much.
cut it all out and then went, oh, bollocks.
Yeah.
Right, so the next step then, Justin.
So the next step is actually the cutting. So
No, is it not the tracing? We haven't even done the tracing yet.
I've done the tracing already on this.
So what happens then? You put the building down.
Yeah, so I put the building down and I line it up
Yeah.
like so. And sometimes you have to squeeze them a little bit because of Warren's building.
So what you're actually doing is using the floor footprint to tell you what the upper footprint is.
Yeah,
The upper room.
yeah, and then when I'm done, what I need to do is I need to mark what I'm leaving full, what
Yes.
I'm not, but I have to do it back to front because this flips over.
Okay.
So this side has this out, then that one's not out, the next one, that's out,
Right. So just to be clear,
that's out.
So what he's currently doing is looking for where there's holes, and then marking on his plan in reverse because this
Yep.
needs to be flipped over.
Yep.
And why do you do that, Justin?
It basically gives a nicer finish because if you have a look on some of these, it looks nicer whenever this steps out
Okay.
than just randomly having it step down.
Right. So normally, here we go. So what he's talking about is normally he cuts it in.
Yeah, so for this pillar here,
Yeah.
it's cut in the way.
Right.
And then I cut the outshot just to cover up the nasty top edge sometimes.
So he's come out here, and then the other opposite end is he's known that there's a pillar here, and he needs to come out.
Exactly. So I think it makes it look a little nicer. To me, anyway.
Right, and we'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah.
So you do that, then it pops out like that.
Yeah.
At
And then
which
it
point,
goes on
what?
top.
We just put it in place.
Goes in place and then it's on to painting.
Okay, now come on over here because it's a good example. Warren, can you grab some of the wee sacks? Come on, keep going on round. The wee sacks that John made way down there. The wee.
Oh, sorry. Right, okay.
Yeah, not. Yes, go and grab John's sacks.
Right, John,
Right.
we're going to grab your
Now,
sacks.
here's an
man.
example of what happens sometimes when you don't
Are
necessarily.
you talking about sandbags?
Yes, the ones that lean up against the walls and
The
stuff.
single ones. John, which ones are the ones that lean up against the wall?
The ones that lean up against the walls. Come in here, right? Here, sometimes you can get a bit lost, okay? And it looks a bit weird. So what I've had John doing is
all been super good, John.
no, over the last day or two.
I mean,
Over the last day or two, he's been making
the
sandbags.
ones that aren't individuals. Have they all been super glued, yeah? Okay.
Okay, so he's making all these wee lean-to sandbags.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do with those is anywhere where there's something a bit dodgy looking, we can just glue in some sandbags that have just been leaned up against the wall. So there's a gap.
Yep.
And there is no gap.
And all because of your amazing sacks.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
John's sacks are lovely.
Yes. The
Really
lovely
like it.
sacks, John.
Right. Speaking of sacks and stuff, if we go over, we're gonna go back this way.
Yep.
Now we've been through the dip process.
Yes.
So we've been using quick shade. What color was it? Soft tone. I think it was soft
Quick
tone.
shade soft tone.
Yeah. So these have these all been sprayed?
Yep.
All right. So these have all been soft toned now, and then matte coated.
Yes.
So they're looking sweet.
I'm really pleased with these. I think they're going to add a lovely color and texture and sense of militarium
Yeah.
to the whole thing.
In fact, now they're done. Let's grab a couple.
Yep.
Right. So
I'm going to grab a sanger. So let's go to the middle. Let's go to the middle. Okay.
that sheet.
So let me put this where this would go. Oh! Where did it go? Where did my sanger go? Yeah, so now,
Yeah.
you know, instead of it just an empty road, you have a sanger with a bit of machine gun nests and
Yeah.
all going on.
And we can even put them up on the floors too.
Yep,
Okay.
you can. Or around the likes of that, or add some pillars, or
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
And it's really going to help us fill in any missing details. If you're looking at a big empty space, you think there's no detail to that. By the time you've done this a couple of times,
Yes.
it'll be awesome. Mm-hmm. Right, on the floor side of things, I'm going to go back to the floors because you'll have seen a couple. Actually, now while we're standing here, check these out. How cool is that with all the drop downs and stuff?
Now
So-
this is your process.
Yes,
so.
when Justin was finished making all the floors, so they're square. So like there are squares like that.
Yep.
Okay, and then I've gone back through them and I've clipped out shapes. And then as I was doing it, I was thinking, oh, wouldn't it be really cool if some of the bits were dangling to give it a bit more 3D-ness? So that's what I've been up to, cutting these all out, so they're all dangling down and in.
And how did you make them more solid?
Look, check that out. I'm going to show you now. Look, see all that baking soda?
Yeah.
That
Bicarbonate
bicarbonate of soda, not
yeah.
baking soda. That's what I'm using. All right, so I'm going to come over here and show you that. So I'm currently working on bits that go in here. All right, so over here, I'll just show you one that's in the works. So this one's been getting clipped out. It doesn't have any bicarbonate of soda or anything on it yet, so you can see it's all flexible. Okay, and I've been doing cool things like getting holes and stuff. This one is no longer flexible because it's been through the bicarb stage. Now what that also allows us to do is I use the bicarbonate to really strengthen it. I put like seams in here and runs up here, which ties it all together and gives it sort of, so it's a bit, almost a bit plasticky like, and it holds it in place. But also we found that some of the floors wanted to delaminate, as in split off again in places, and I thought, whoa, so I've been repairing bits and pieces with super glue, and then what I'm doing is I'm going along the edge with the super glue. In fact, I'll do a bit. If we can get in super close. Let me just prep my workspace. So you can just reuse the bicarbonate of soda. Just work over a sheet, put a fold in it like that. Job done. Get your tub. So what I'm doing is, to stop delamination and stuff, is I'm running a bead of super glue. Can you see that okay? Right along the edge, and I lean it this way. I want to make sure if there's a drip that it happens underneath. I don't want to drip along the top, otherwise it'll be gross. If you do drip along the top, quickly just rub it off. Alright? And then all I do is tap this along. And then any drips, I make sure and hit those as well. So you tap it down like that. And you just work your way along the edge.
Do you need any help rubbing off, Floyd, or are you okay?
No, I think I'm alright.
Okay.
Just along the edges like that, and you tap it into place. Now, cut this out. It's just been a case of using a combination of Stanley knives and clippers, cutting interesting shapes, and then taking the clippers, for example, and then finding places where I'm thinking, oh, it's not really interesting looking there. I'll just give that a quick clip. Or just add another jaggy edge. So I would have originally cut this out to look like this, okay? And then what you do is you find jut outs that you're thinking, oh, that'd be really cool if that dangled down. And you get your blade and you cut along it in a jaggy fashion, but not so much pressure that you actually go through, because then you want to split it like that, so you get this effect. Okay? and then you can dangle it down to whatever. Like you can go full down, or you can prop it up that it hasn't quite collapsed all the way down. So let's do this one. In fact, I'll do one on camera. So I'm going to go a slight slope here, and then I'm going to cut it again. So watch what happens when I do this. So I'll give it a jaggy cut, like so. Now, it's sloping like that, but I can take the next bit, if I've done this right. There we go, split it. So now I can come out a wee bit and then have that one dangle the whole way down, as if the gravity's, you know, this really is getting ready to drop off. Okay, then you take your super glue, get in along your seam, drop it in. You know, try to keep it off the top of the actual texture you're trying to keep. I'll make sure and hit the top edge of that. Just watching out, be careful for runs and things. Then you put it in the position you want, so I'd want that sort of sloped, and then I get my bicarbonate soda, drop it down, you get the instant reaction, and that's it set in place. Now to make that stronger, so it's caught there, but to make it stronger then I flip it over, and I run out of super glue. 2 seconds, typical. I gotta get me some major super glue. I'm gonna order some massive tubs of the CA glue from the internet. Right, here we go. Run a bead along there, and I'll quickly drop the bicarbonate on that. Set straight away. Run a bead out here, and then I'm just gonna run a bead on that other bit that let me just turn that over for a sec. Oh, there we go. Yep, perfect. Alright, and now you can see that this is getting pretty well set, and just need to do this one from the front. Job's a good one, and then that pretty much does that. It was really cool. And then I'll go around all the edges just to make sure, like there's a bit that's delaminating, see just there? So if that happens, I'm just going to give it a bead of super glue, put that back, come back out here. You can literally do that, just dunk it, and then that holds it in along the edge. Now, safety warning, be careful. Super glue and the bicarbonate of soda has a chemical reaction. Don't let that happen on your skin because it'll burn. If it is gonna, like, if you do find yourself burning, if you keep a glass of water or something, dunk it in real quick. But it's not too bad. It's not as bad as using sponge and stuff. Anyway, so I will finish this one, but I'll give you an idea of what that looks like. So I've been working on these 2 bits. So, one building with nothing in it. Pop that into place. Pop this into place. Look at that. How cool is that? So, that's what we're working on. Now, the big tower is having some extra work done on its floors, because you'll have noticed that these floors are all one-sided. So what we're going to do is we'll probably give them a quick dusting with some black spray on this side before changing them over to paint them with whatever colours are on this side. Now, this building's slightly different. Because this building goes so high up, normally it's over here and it's way up. You can actually start to see, I don't know where the floors are over there. So there's some floors up here and you can actually start to peer under them. So I thought, do you know what? I think we should double side these floors. Just because it'll be more interesting to be able to look up and see texture on both sides. The other thing that'll do is it'll allow me to get bits, like I can cut a bit off here and have it dangle down and it look really cool on this side. But if we didn't double side it, from looking at the other way, it would just be black. So on one of their 2 key buildings, we've done that. In fact, I think it's just the 2, so I'm just gonna let that sit there. So there's quite a few floors here that have been done that way. And then over here, keep coming. There's a bridge segment here somewhere.
Moment of truth for me here.
Wait, we'll come back to you. Bridge segment. Oh, John's still double-siding the bridge segment. So there's another segment here, and I wanted it to be double-sided because I want to be able to have some drop-down bits that really dangle. Let's come back around to Justin and see how he's going.
Alright, so this is my last cut on this. So
Yeah.
whenever you've cut, you are just popping it off.
And keep it, because you can use them as rubble mix.
And now, if I have done this right, this should
Almost.
sit down in. Now there's a couple of little bits, but this is what you'll always get, so you just need to trim a little bit extra off here, a little bit extra off here.
So you're struggling at that point and this point.
Alright, so that's where the pressure is, so we'll just lift it off.
Hey, I just shoved it on down.
I prefer a little more finesse than that.
That's really cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to make a big hole in the middle. Right?
Of my perfect floor.
Yeah, and then I'm going to push bits down so that when you peer down into it, you can see the bits hanging down into it.
Yeah.
And because I will just do it all going around in a ring shape, you will never see the backs, so we don't need to do that double-sided.
But you can quite clearly see now where I was talking about the flat out edges of the pillars.
Yeah.
Where I've just let that floor run over the top.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I'm happy I got that one right on camera. That would have been embarrassing otherwise.
Yeah. Is there anything else we need to talk about, lads? Is there anything? Oh yes, I do. Jono, come on. We're doing tap. You can take over for John there. Whoa, he's just finished. Oh, drop the mic. Oh, he's almost finished.
Yeah, I have trimmed that bit. Just
Oh, drop the mic, John. Well, it's pretty much done. So that's going to go back into place over here. Plop.
yeah.
And then I'm going to come back over with it. Do all the nice destruction. Ta-da! And because it now is double-sided, I can cut out a big bit here that just drops. And it means the layer on that side doesn't just see all of a sudden black.
Well, whenever you're looking down through.
It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Right, speaking of destruction, Jono, you've been working on some pillars.
Yeah.
Now let me try. Have you got any pillars that aren't cut
No.
yet? Right, so describe what you're doing and I'll grab something around cut.
So we're taking the pillar sections out of the terrain set, gluing them together so we have a continuous sort of wall either side.
Yeah.
And then we're clipping and chopping away at the top, so we're cutting some of them in half. If you want to take there's just a bit of a mixture of them. I'm kind of liking doing that with some of the offcuts because they kind of sit cool down onto the top. Of
So literally that was probably already on the top of that and you chopped that off and thought that's cool, but you've also kept that.
Yeah.
And then what this is going to do is give us like burnt out tower or burnt out columns and stuff to drop down in the buildings.
Yeah, because what we're missing at the minute is even the hint of an interior structure to some of the ruins. When your clippers and every other craft knife you have is unacceptable, you go to a garden centre and you get shears.
Can I have a go at this? Is there anything here that I can shear?
You can do whatever. Well, there's no sheep around.
Being careful now because you could take the tip of your finger off with something like this. Let me have a go at this.
Yeah, these are slightly more brutal than a set of clippers.
Oh, the power! Oh, that's excellent. I'll leave it to you.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do then is we're going to get these all sprayed up. So just to give you an example, over here is good. Just stay here, right? So this building here, just look down in, has been destroyed. This is a great way of being able to just drop a couple of pillars in to give it a sense of, oh, there was internal structure, and to make them a bit more stable. Do you remember the sandbags we looked at? That we leaned up to cover the hole? I was thinking if we just lean some of them up against that, that'll give this a bigger footprint. Colour-wise, we're just going to basically give it the base coat of what the buildings are. The same dry brush, John?
I don't even know if we want to.
I think we'll do a dry brush because it's easy.
Yeah.
Right, so basically we're going to... this whole batch of buildings all very similar in colour. So we could probably just hit this with one fur brown, something like that. Because we're running out of our leather brown. We're running out! We're running out of leather brown. We're trying to save it for this roof.
We have one can left, and I am the guardian of that can.
We have half of one can left.
There's only half now?
It's getting there. It's getting there. Anyway, so what we'll do is we'll spray that one of these basic colours, dry brush it, skeleton bone like we've been doing on that.
Yep.
And then, John, you're going to hit it with a good old airbrushing.
Yeah.
So it's mostly just charred.
Yeah, just go really heavy with our charred sort of effect.
And then we should just be able to drop them down into pretty much any building we want, or have some falling over.
Yep.
Because they're charred, you get away with it. It's gonna be sweet. Right, we have loads to do. I can't think of anything else that I'm gonna update you on now. That might actually do it for this. So we'll probably have another vlog. What is this? Tuesday now.
It's Tuesday.
And we're aiming to be finished by Thursday for our big event, the 40k hobby weekend at the weekend. Strangely enough. At the weekend.
At the weekend event on the weekend.
So hopefully we'll have another vlog on Thursday, and then after the event we're going to do a vlog. Well, we're going to do like a montage because we're going to dress this.
Yeah.
We're going to get all our 40k armies out that are really cool and have a big epic diorama set up. And I'm looking forward to getting some footage and stuff of that. So stay tuned. Hopefully there'll be another part of this out on Thursday.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.